Witness, honorable members, starting with those on my right.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, our witness. I'm Jacqueline Sabao, Member of Parliament for Jigankata constituency. I'm the Vice Chairperson of the Select Committee. Thank you.
Good morning, House of Clergy. Kakuo Stanley is my name, from Kapirimposhi constituency.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, witness. My name is Weso Kakoma Sefulo. I'm Member of Parliament for Mandi constituency in the Western Province and part of the Select Committee.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, witness. My name is Nkombo, Garo Nkombo, representing Mazabuka Central constituency in the Southern Province, also a member of this committee.
Thank you, Chair. Morning, witness. Jonathan Daka is my name, representing the good people of Chadiza constituency in Eastern Province. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Blessed morning. George Kasavila Kandafura, Member of Parliament, Serenje. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Good morning, witness. My name is Brian Kambita, Member of Parliament for Zambezi East constituency in North.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, House of Clergy. My name is Mishek Mtetwa Nyambos. I represent the wonderful people of Chasefu constituency in Eastern Province and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, witness. My name is Newton Samakai, Member of Parliament for Mundonga constituency in the Northwestern Province.
Secretariat.
Good morning. My name is Lavmoche Lokawata from the Office of the Clerk.
Permanent witness.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members. Good morning, witness. My name is Chawezi Chirwa from Ministry of Justice.
Media. Media. Okay, thank you very much. House of Clergy, welcoming you once again, and I would like to guide that as you make your submission, I take this opportunity to confer you with immunity as provided from under Cap 12, which is the National Assembly Powers and Privileges Act. It provides you with immunity against prosecution for what you say or provide before this honorable committee. Witness, you are guided not to willfully mislead this committee, or the reverse applies. Witness, for guidance, I do beg that we start from page 3, where it says governance analysis of Bill 7, item by item. You are free to give a summarized version of page 1 and 2 in your own words, but you're guided to start from page 3. And just for guidance, honorable members, the submission has been sent online as we wait for the physical copies, so we can make reference to what has been submitted before us. Witness, you are free to make your submission.
Chair, we want to thank you and thank the committee members for the opportunity to be here. As guided, Chair, we will start on page 3, but allow me, with your indulgence, to do our simple introduction of who we are as House of Clergy. I think we're a Christian NGO that comes to bridge the gap of civic role as ministers of the gospel, and so realize that I think this has been a missing gap. This is ministry outside the pulpit to see how best we can contribute into civic matters as clergy. Let me go direct to our submission, Chair. That is part 2 of our submissions, which has Bill 7 analysis item by item. And we start with item number 1. Mixed member proportion representation. I have to make mention, even before I proceed, Chair, that I think our submission is premised on 2 grounds that I might indicate, which will be justified later maybe in our recommendations, that we note that this is the highest process that has widely been participated in terms of submissions, and we attach that seriousness to this process. From all the previous commissions so far in history, we've taken note that over 11,000 Zambians stand up to make their submissions, making this process more serious, inclusive, and more participatory. Secondly, I think we'd want to rely also on a scripture that a wise man sees danger from afar and hides himself. So those two, they guide our submissions. Item number 1, which is mixed member proportion representation, the institutional rationale. Zambia's current first past the post system produces governance inefficiencies documented in electoral analysis. MPs represent minority vote shares, 40 to 45% of constituencies in many cases. Geographic disparities create unequal representation. Minority perspectives are systematically excluded from parliamentary deliberations. Party coordination across constituencies becomes difficult in multi-candidate environments. Mixed member proportion representation addresses these institutional deficiencies by ensuring proportional seat allocation. This is not merely a technical change. It improves legislative representation by increasing seat-to-vote correspondency, reducing wasted votes, and enhancing minority representation. International research demonstrates that proportional system strengthens coalition-based governance, require parliamentary consensus building, and increase legislative expertise through larger committee structures. From a civil society perspective, proportional systems strengthen policy responsiveness to diverse constituencies. When parties compete for proportional support across the electorate, they develop more comprehensive policy platforms addressing varied community concerns. This creates stronger incentives for accountability to civil society organizations, including faith communities advocating for social justice priorities. We have broken down these into their perspective categories. Item number 2, we're addressing the issue of women representation and addressing institutional barriers. Women comprise approximately 50% of Zambia's population, but hold significantly less than 50% of parliamentary seats. This underrepresentation is not accidental, but reflects documented institutional barriers. Discriminatory nomination practices, resource constraints limiting campaign capacity, gender-based violence, and harassment in electoral processes, and structural disadvantages in FPTP competition, where incumbent advantage favors established predominantly male politicians. Bill 7's provision for 20 constitutionally guaranteed women's seats addresses these institutional barriers through constitutional reservation. This mechanism is widely used internationally. Examples like Rwanda, South Africa, Morocco, Kenya, and is increasingly recognized as an evidence-based approach to overcoming entrenched gender disparities in political representation. Research also demonstrates that women's legislative representation improves policy outcomes in issues affecting women and families. Increased investment in health and education, stronger enforcement of gender-based violence protections, improves child welfare policies, enhance fiscal transparency. Women legislators bring distinct perspective to economic policy, fiscal priorities, and social protection, improving overall legislative quality and responsiveness to population needs. Let me go to item number 3. youth representation. Zambia's population is exceptionally young. Over 60% of citizens are under the age of 35. Youth represents a significant demographic constituency whose interests and concerns are systematically underrepresented in Parliament. The average age of Zambian MPs, 51 years, creates a systematic bias towards older age cohorts in legislative priorities. Youth face distinct institutional challenges: high unemployment, 27% of youth versus approximately 12% adult unemployment, limited access to credit and entrepreneurship support, education quality concerns affecting employment prospects, climate change impact with 50+ lifespan consequences. Yet, parliamentary structures provide no guaranteed mechanism for youth voice on these policy domains. Bill 7's provision for 12 constitutionally guaranteed youth seats aged 18 to 35 addresses this representational gap. International evidence from Kenya, Rwanda, and other democracies demonstrates that youth representation strengthens legislative focus on education policy, employment creation, climate change, fiscal sustainability, domains where youth have direct stakeholder interest. Going to item number 4, persons with disabilities representation, 3 seats. The rationale is that persons with disabilities face systematic exclusion. Reserved seats ensure legislative voice and policy influence. The impact of this that it strengthens disability inclusive policy, accessibility, and social protection. It also enhances compliance with UN. This is a Convention on Rights with Persons with Disabilities, where Zambia is also a signatory. With international examples of this as Uganda, Lesotho, South Africa, India, and many more. Item number 5, parliamentary expansion. Bill 7 increases parliamentary seats from 156 to 211, a 35% expansion, reducing average constituent size from approximately 90,000 to 65,000 persons. This expansion has significant institutional implications. Smaller constituencies enable MPs to maintain closer constituent relationship and higher accessibility to communities. Expanded Parliament increases committee positions, enabling greater legislative specialization and scrutiny capacity. Geographic decentralization improves representation quality, especially in rural areas. The research on parliamentary size demonstrates that moderate expansion from 156 to 211 as proposed strengthens legislative capacity without creating an odd institution size. Expanded Parliament enables more robust committee structures, specialist policy focus, and stronger executive scrutiny for civil society organizations, including faith communities. Smaller constituencies and expanded committees increase opportunities for meaningful policy engagement and parliamentary accountability. Item number 6, removal of term limits for mayors and council chairpersons. Rationale: competent local leaders should not be forced out arbitrarily. Continuity supports local development, and the impact is that it retains high-performing leaders, improves accountability, and ensures policy continuity. Best practices like examples of the UK, South Africa, Botswana, and Namibia. Item number 7, suspension of by-election 6 months before general elections. Rationale: let by-election strain resources with limited value near national polls. The impact is that it reduces election fatigue, saves costs, ensures focus on general elections. Examples like Canada, Australia, UK, and India. Item number 8. Declaration of ministerial vacancies 90 days before elections. The House of Clergy supports this. It prevents incumbents' abuse and use of state resources for campaigns. It also strengthens, the impact is that it strengthens electoral fairness and public trust. Best practice and examples like India, Ghana, Kenya, and also South Africa. The item number 9, alignment of parliamentary and local government terms. Harmonized terms reduce duplication and administrative strain, improves governance cohesion, simplifies electoral administration, with examples like South Africa, Tanzania, Namibia, and Botswana. On item number 10, Secretary to Cabinet qualification. We support this amendment and the proposal in Bill 7, as this stands as a great danger to the country if not attended to. The current provision leaves not more than 2 individuals to take up this office because almost all Zambians stand underqualified. In case of any natural occurrence, we risk having no one to take up the office of Secretary to Cabinet. Bill 7 references specific qualification standards for Secretary to Cabinet appointments. The House of Clergy recommends that Bill 7's text be amended to recognize that senior government administrative experience equivalent to 5 years as permanent secretary should be defined to include specific alternative career pathways that demonstrate comparable administrative capability. Building on Bill 7's methodological approach to establishing institutional standards, the House of Clergy recommends that the qualification standards be amended to read: Secretary to Cabinet shall be a person with at least 5 years experience in a senior government leadership position, including any of the following: service as a permanent secretary, service as a principal director or equivalent in government administration managing institutional portfolios, service as a deputy cabinet secretary or equivalent position requiring cabinet level coordination experience, or comparative international experience in senior government administration demonstrating equivalent leadership capacity. This amendment reflects 3 institutional principles aligned with Bill 7. First, merit-based selection. Bill 7's proportional representation system and reserved representation mechanisms are grounded in the principles of institutional merit and democratic representation. The Secretary to Cabinet qualification standard should similarly ensure merit-based selection from the broadest possible talent pool. Restricting the position to permanent secretary only may exclude highly qualified senior administrators from alternative career pathways. Second, administrative capacity. Bill 7 expands Parliament from 156 to 211 seats, requiring significantly enhanced administrative coordination at the cabinet level. The Secretary to Cabinet qualification standard should recognize that relevant administrative experience comes through multiple career pathways, not just permanent secretary position. A principal director managing a large institution portfolio demonstrates comparable administrative capability. Third, institutional legitimacy. By constitutionally establishing specific equivalent qualifications, Bill 7 prevents future disputes about whether particular candidates meet qualification standards. This approach follows Bill 7's methodology of constitutional clarity. Just as Bill 7 constitutionally specifies women and youth representation to prevent post-election disputes, it should constitutionally specify secretary to cabinet qualification pathways to prevent post-appointment disputes. The House of Clergy recommends this amendment to strengthen Bill 7's administrative framework while maintaining rigorous qualification standards that ensure competent cabinet level coordination. Increased number of nominated MPs. The rationale: it strengthens representation of marginalized or specialized groups and provides expert voices in Parliament. The impact is that it enhances inclusivity and national cohesion, ensures merit-based selection. We agree with the 10 nominated as proposed in Bill 7, because previously we used to use a percentage ratio, but that one can amount to abuse, especially if the number of constituencies continue being delimited after amending the articles under delimitation. The examples are Botswana, Namibia, Uganda, and Tanzania. The tenure of office: Attorney General, tenure of Attorney General and Solicitor General. Rationale is that, yes, we support the proposal. It protects independence of legal advice and guards against political interference, also for continuity purposes. The impact is that it strengthens the rule of law and governance accountability. Examples are Kenya, South Africa, India, and the United States. Electoral petition reforms: we support the proposals in it that the rational timely resolution prevents prolonged disputes and increases electoral certainty. We support the addition of the word determined on presidential petition. The impact is that it promotes trust in elections, reduces political tension. Examples of this are Kenya, Uganda, Ghana, India, and many more. Item 14. The MP sitting in local authority. This is something as House of Clergy we support. It enhances coordination even between the national and local government. It improves service delivery on the local planning and constituent engagement. Examples are South Africa, UK, Kenya, and Malawi. Elections proceed after candidate withdrawal. We support this proposal as House of Clergy. It prevents strategic manipulation and ensures electoral certainty. It avoids costly delays and protects voter confidence. Examples is US, India, South Africa, and Brazil. We particularly support item number 15 because, like I indicated, that a wise man sees danger from afar and hides himself. As House of Clergy has held a view that this has been a danger looming. Item number 16, independent candidates and nomination procedures. Bill 7 establishes specific constitutional provisions for women representation 20 seats and the youth representation 12 through constitutional reservation. Following the same methodological approach, Bill 7 should constitutionally establish a fixed nomination timeline that ensures the 2-month independent candidate transition window is operationally feasible. The House of Clergy recommends that Bill 7 be amended to establish the nominations shall occur not fewer than 90 days before general election. This constitutional provision would establish the nomination window as a fixed constitutional timeline rather than leaving it subject to the Electoral Commission's administrative discretion. This recommendation mirrors Bill 7's approach to other critical deadlines, and Bill 7 constitutionally establishes the 2026 general elections as an implementation deadline. Similarly, Bill 7 should constitutionally establish the 90-day pre-election nomination window. This ensures that constitutional rights to independent candidacy is operationally guaranteed through constitutional timeline specifications, not dependent on administrative procedure. The 90-day nomination window is grounded in international constitutional practice. The South Africa Constitution, again, a precedent Bill 7 references, established a fixed pre-election nomination window as constitutional provision. This ensures that nominations procedures cannot accidentally undermine constitutional guarantees of independent candidacy. The House of Clergy further recommends that the Electoral Commission's detailed nomination procedure published in regulations specify that independent candidates shall have a minimum of 60 days after nominations open to complete the 2-month party membership notice requirement. This enables alignment between the constitutional 90-day timeline and the 2-month independent transition requirement. This approach strengthens Bill 7 by ensuring that constitutional guarantee of independent candidacy is operationally viable, not subject to administrative accident. Parliament tenure alignment. Item number 17. A critical constitutional matter requires deliberate inclusion in Bill 7's text. The relationship between presidential and parliamentary election cycle. Bill 7 should establish a synchronized 5-year constitutional term linking parliamentary dissolution to presidential term completion. The House of Clergy recommends that Bill 7 explicitly constitutes Parliament with a 5-year term coincident with a presidential term, dissolving Parliament concurrently with presidential term expirations and conducting general elections simultaneously. This approach is grounded in Bill 7's own constitutional methodology. Just as Bill 7's constitution reserves specific parliamentary seats, it should constitutionally establish term synchronization. This recommendation follows international constitutional practice in comparable democracies like Rwanda in 1991 constitution, which Bill 7 references for proportional representation systems. Pick the last part. The House of Clergy recommends that Bill 7's text be amended to include an explicit constitutional provision establishing a synchronized 5-year term with Parliament dissolved concurrently with presidential term completion and general elections conducted simultaneously. You will allow me, Chair, to skip page 10 in the interest of time, so that we can rush for recommendations and other concerns.
Noted, witness. You can proceed.
Allow me to go to page 13, then I address part 6. Chair, a House of Clergy wants to state the agents of constitutional implementation and even the electoral cycle deadline. We are aware that from 2021 to 2026 this Parliament was sitting, and it's through this window that we expect that serious voices can be heard, and that you whom we have trusted with powers to make laws on our behalf should take advantage of this window. Bill 7 must be passed before even the 2026 general elections. This is our view. This deadline is not arbitrary, but reflects hard institutional realities. Constitutional frameworks, once established through elections, create path dependencies persisting across electoral cycles. The 2026 elections will lock Zambia's electoral and parliamentary structures in place for the next 5 to 10 years. If Bill 7 passes now, the 2026 elections will establish proportional representation, women reserve seats, youth representation, and expanded parliament from the outset. These institutional structures then persist through multiple electoral cycles, creating long-term transformative impact. If Bill 7 is postponed past 2026, the current first past the post system governs that election, establishing incumbent advantage for 156 MPs and locking constituent boundaries into place. The next possible implementation becomes 2021, delaying constitutional reform by 5 years and requiring the entire constitutional process to restart with different political dynamics and incumbent opposition. We indicated in our preamble, Chair, that a wise man sees danger from afar and hides himself, because we're a Christian nation. We feel that the clarification that Bill 7 seeks to bring really are looking into the future, and the election that is coming may just be one that if we don't attend to certain things, we might find ourselves solving problems that could be avoided. Allow me to go straight to page 15 in the interest of time on part 7 on our recommendations as House of Clergy. So recommendations. Based on the institutional, theological and governance analysis presented above, the House of Clergy Zambia submits the following formal recommendations. Our full support for Bill 7 with specific enhancements. We strongly recommend that a select committee endorses and support full passage of Bill number 7 of 2025 with the following refinements. Number 1, item 10, Secretary to Cabinet qualifications. Adopt the expanded formulation of qualifying senior administrative experience to prevent future succession risks and ensure a broad merit-based pool. We must also consider, select committee also must consider item number 16 on independent candidate nomination window, constitutionally enshrine the 90-day nomination period to protect the rights of independent candidates and ensure operation feasibility. Consider item number 17 for alignment of parliamentary and presidential terms. Insert explicit text synchronizing executive and legislative term for clarity, administrative efficiency and democratic accountability. In the interest of time, I'll go to page 16 on our conclusion. The Constitution of Zambia Amendment Bill number 7 of 2025 represents a historic opportunity to strengthen democratic representation, to correct long-standing governance deficits, enhance inclusivity for women, youth and persons with disability, modernize Zambia's electoral system, deepen accountability and citizen participation, align Zambia with best practice democracies globally. The House of Clergy, speaking from a position of faith-informed social justice, national unity and community representation across the 10 provinces, strongly urges the Select Committee and Parliament to support the passage of Bill 7 without delay. Consider specific amendments as outlined in this submission. Chair, I thank you.
Witness, House of Clergy Zambia, thank you for your submission before this honorable committee. Honorable members, that's a submission from the House of Clergy Zambia. We may now seek clarification on their submission. House of Clergy, I just want to, on page 5 of the submission, on parliamentary expansion, you're saying that this is reducing the average size from approximately 90,000 to 65,000 persons. I just wanted to find out how you computed those statistics on page 5. You can proceed.
Thank you, Chair. I think this one was arrived at looking at the methods of delimitation and representation. We realize that the 35% expansion, if we look at an average constituency, may at average and approximately reduce at least representation in that capacity. It was just an estimate, Chair.
It was an estimate? Okay. Thank you. Any other points of clarification? House of Clergy Zambia, your submission is received. It's clear. We thank you for appearing before this select committee, and we do not take your appearance for granted. You are a key stakeholder among many others in informing the report of the select committee. I'd like to take this opportunity to lift the immunity that was given to you at the beginning of your submission, so that you enjoy the greater immunity as men and women of faith that you already enjoy. Witness, I thank you.
Good morning, House of Clergy Zambia have just made their submissions to the Parliamentary Select Committee, which was appointed to scrutinize the Constitution of Zambia Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2025. And so this is the first witness for today. We expect about 5 more witnesses to make their submissions to the Parliamentary Select Committee. And so just now we look at the objects of the Constitution of Zambia Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2025. The objects of this bill is to amend the Constitution of Zambia so as to revise the composition of the National Assembly, to provide for the increase in the number of constituency-based seats from 156 to 211, to actualize the delimitation report by the Electoral Commission, and also to revise the electoral system for election to the National Assembly, to provide for a mixed member proportional representation electoral system to guarantee the representation of women, youths and persons with disabilities, and also to revise the provisions to filling of fresh nominations on a resignation of a candidate, and also to revise the provisions relating to by-elections, revise the number of nominated members of Parliament, harmonize the term of Parliament and Council to achieve a 5-year term, provide for a vacancy in the office of Minister and Provincial Minister 90 days before a general election, remove the 2-term limit for office of Mayor and Council Chairperson, revise the composition of the Council to include members of Parliament holding constituency-based seats, revise the qualifications for appointment to the office of the Secretary to the Cabinet, provide for the Attorney General and Solicitor General to continue in office after a general election until new office bearers are appointed, revise the definition of the words child and adult, provide for clarity on the period within which an election petition shall be concluded, and also to provide for matters connected with or incidental to the foregoing. So those are the objects of the Constitution of Zambia Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2025. So just now we stand by for the second witness to make their submissions to the Parliamentary Select Committee. Keep watching Parliamentary.
My eParliament mobile application. First, download the app on either Play Store or App Store and install. After installation, open the app. Step 1. Register your personal information, that's your names, gender, NRC and date of birth. Step 2. Add your contact information, your email, phone number and home address. Step 3. Select your constituency. Step 4. Create your 4-digit PIN. At this point, the system will send an SMS to your mobile number with a one-time passcode. Step 5. Confirm